Okay. My computer says 9 o'clock, so we will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for December 28, 2022 to order. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
And the word became flesh and dwelt among us. Lord, help me and all of us to remember, it's not the Christmas season that belongs to you, but every second of every day, everything that is, and you always were. We pray for this meeting to be peace. We pray for this meeting to benefit our county and all its citizens. And I pray for all the individuals in this room to get safely back home to their homes this evening or this afternoon or whenever it would be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anyone signed up to speak publicly? I don't see anything, so I would say no. Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Okay, hearing none, we will move to number 2, the consent agenda. What's the pleasure? Motion to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices A through I. Motion to approve number 3A through I. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Minutes and or amended minutes of previous meetings, A and B. Motion to approve A and B. Any discussion?
Just a slight note on that, the date should be the 11 instead of 12 November instead of December on the
Motion to
agenda.
amend and bring in what the county clerk said.
This should be 11 when?
11:20 and 12:30 instead of 12:20.
Okay, 11:20, okay. So the motion's been amended for A to be 11:20, not 12:20, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
And B be 11:30 as well, correct?
Yes.
okay. Okay, both A and B be November, okay. Any further discussion? Thank you, John. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 5, requisition purchase orders and invoices as shown on vendor requisition list of payments A. It's a pleasure.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve 5A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, exoneration corrective tickets, joint property application. So we only have exonerations under A, is that correct?
That is correct.
Motion approved A only.
Okay, motion to approve 6A. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing there's none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 7, it appears that we don't have any requisitions under number 7.
That is correct.
Okay, number 8, review, discuss, consider GSA update, potential executive session pursuant to 6A 9(4), God bless you, 9A 4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which, if made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the county. And we have A, Rycom pay application with reduction of retainage.
Madam President, the discussion I'd like to have is they have submitted a paid application where it would reduce the retainage that we are holding down to $125,000. It would be my recommendation that we can reduce the retainage, but I would only reduce the retainage to about $350,000. That way we have more help there for unexpected things or things that are need finished.
We get an update on what's going on over there.
Which part, I believe I sent out an email yesterday about the water leak. The frozen pipe.
I got that. I'm a little confused. I think the other day it was told it was a dry system. And when I asked him about sprinkler,
We have been told it was a dry system. Because we were told, one of the concerns we had was with the gate,
right,
the garage door gate being open, that it really wouldn't affect that system because it was a dry system. But from that,
yeah, we talked about that.
Well, that's
I
interesting.
thought we had a dry, that's why I was trying to understand how we had a water leak.
so I've Danny looking into it more, and I got a message from Danny that there's a plumber on site this morning.
Any updates on generator?
There is movement there. They're working out days on the time frame for work to be completed, started and completed.
How about the elevator at community corrections?
Elevator, I do not have an update on.
Make a motion that we retain $350,000 in retainage.
Motion's been made to set the amount for retainage at $350,000. Is that correct?
Yes, maybe.
Any further discussion on number 8? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Number 9, consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building Project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission, a RICON pay application.
Madam President, with this, since we are only reducing the retainage to 350,000, I will have to get updated paperwork for this pay application.
So
So
we
there's
really
no
can't move
action.
forward with this at this time. Number 10, we have no requisitions for this.
Correct, there are none.
Okay, so we will move to number 11. Review, discuss, consider City of Clarksburg accepting ARPA funds in the amount of $300,000. It will be used for their Milford Street Storm and Sanitary Project.
This is just letting us know what they're gonna use it for. They will request the entire amount at the next meeting. It's gonna be on the next agenda for them to receive their entire $300,000.
And everything's in order.
Yeah, the project they're gonna use it on is about $450,000 total. So,
So it's just information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we really don't need any action, correct? Okay, number 12, review, discuss, consider appointment of Paula Sprouse McIntyre to Summit Park PSD.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve the appointment. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider Town of Nutter Fort ARPA request for ARPA funds for Fort Street sewer and storm repairs. This is requisition number 2. Amount is $29,823.96.
and this will leave them approximately $6,600 of their allotted funds to use.
Thank you.
So we do need action on this, correct?
This one, there's actually a requisition in the payables.
So we need to, okay. What's the pleasure for number 13?
To include in the requisition. Motion approved.
It was in the requisition.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So it's already been approved, yeah.
Review, discuss, consider order for delinquent of unprogressed estates. This is just in order to have a hearing on them, is that correct?
Right.
And send them out.
Correct.
So what's the pleasure? We need to set a date, right? Or have Laura work with John to get a date. How's that sound?
Okay,
We'll make that motion.
make a motion to have the clerk and the county administrator set a date and come back to commission.
Is there any discussion?
And can we add for the commission to sign this order for the unprogressed estates?
You, the president, you mean?
I think it takes all of us.
Does it take all of us?
It does take all three.
Okay,
Okay. Motions for the clerk and administrator to set a date and the commission go ahead and sign the order. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, I have 9:10. We have the estate of Stephanie Ann Layfield hearing to accept copy of will in place of lost original. Is somebody here for this estate?
Stephanie Ann Wakefield. Stephanie Ann
We have a-
Wakefield.
Here's some.
Is there a petition?
No,
Was she notified? A certified mail or?
this is really the daughter that read the request on behalf of her father.
Do we have this where she got served? But we don't have anything to see, really to show that she was served. So what is the pleasure on this matter?
Motion to table.
Motion to table,
And rescind notification.
a motion to table and resend notification. Is there any discussion? The only thing is, I don't have a problem taking, we can take it off if John can give us the certified mail.
I'm sure they've been sent, yeah. Just not accompanying the attachment. right now.
I mean, that would be, but if you.
Whether they be here or not.
Oh, I do too, but I just wanted to, if they didn't, they were served and didn't show up. That's my only thing. Okay. Motion to resend notification of a hearing. We need to work, I guess, work with Laura again to get a date. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 15, review, discuss, consider zoning form for Cox's Cabaret, 1434 East Pike Street, Clarksburg.
Correct. This is currently Fred's Angels. It is changing the name and everything. It's the same location. Private club selling beer, wine, and liquor with adult entertainment. And yes, they'll have a menu of food items for.
What's the pleasure?
motion for,
Motion to approve. And fixed signature, doesn't it? Is that a fixed signature?
please.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider recommendation for animal control facility engineer bid opening was on December 14th, 2022. Laura, do you have? a report?
Yes, so on December 14th, we opened, we received 2 bids for the animal control facility. That would be from Thrasher Engineering and McKinley. We pulled together our team of reviewers for these bids and went through them. It was myself, Dennis Berner, who is the interim director of animal control, Danny Hammer, who's our director of maintenance, and also Gina Jones. It would be our recommendation that we would go with McKinley.
Motion to approve the recommendation from staff for the project.
Motion to approve the recommendation from staff for the animal control project. Is there any discussion?
Do you have the other sheets? I only have two for Gina and Dennis.
Everyone just have Gina and Dennis.
Yeah.
As you can see from the checklist, both of them do have experience with kennel type facilities, animal control facilities. McKinley just has more extensive experience with those type of facilities with the kennels and everything like that.
Any questions?
Uh, it's like, it's all right, Patsy, for Laura to meet with McKinley to discuss contract proposal.
Is that all right to amend your motion?
What is it? I'm sorry.
To contact and enter in, begin negotiating and a proposal for the work.
Yeah, that's the next step. Yeah, and motion, yeah, and whatever.
Motion to
as stated
approve
by
the
Commissioner Evil.
recommendation.
Yeah.
And allow Laura to contact McKinley and begin.
The next steps in the process.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, we have another estate at 9:15, estate of Billy Ann Clevenger, hearing to accept copy of will in place of lost original. And we're looking for Leslie Bond, I believe.
Estate Billy Ann Clevenger.
I was just informed that they may have found the original to this one. So there might be minutes also for this one. Must have happened over the weekend.
No, there's no one in the hallway.
Yes, they wanted to come out this week.
Well, John just said, he just found out they may have found the original will. So,
Motion to table
until we figure out.
until we get a better idea what's going on.
Motion to table until
John just contacts,
confirms that we got.
confirms whether they found the will or not.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider entry, number 917. Review, discuss, consider entry of an order which would terminate the existing property tax increment financing district known as the County Commission of Harrison County Development District Number 7, as well as the TIF fund for such district and the distribution of any funds on deposit to the appropriate levying bodies.
Madam President, for several years now, we have had what we refer to as the North Central Crossroads TIF district. That area development has not taken place in that area. We have no funds coming in to these accounts, so it is pretty much coming on the burden of the commission to pay because we still have to do yearly reports and everything else for this TIF district. It would be my recommendation that we go ahead and terminate this district.
Make a motion, the Harrison County Commission. TIF District number 7. And distribute any funds on deposit to appropriate levy bodies.
Okay,
And for the president to fix their signature.
To the order.
motion has been made to terminate Harrison County Development District number 7 and to distribute funds to the levying bodies, if there are any, and affix the signature to the order. Did I catch it all? Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, now it's 9:21 and it looks like we have Salem PD in the back of the room. And I'm sorry, city manager.
I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't in the presentation. I didn't quite know how it was gonna go.
It's okay.
Good, how are you? Sir? Good to see you.
You're good company.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning. I'm Sergeant Hendrickson with Salem Police Department. This is Lieutenant Davis, and this is Chief Saratnik. Combined, we have about 30 years of law enforcement experience in multiple disciplines between criminal addiction, canine. I've worked municipal, county, state, federal agency. This presentation is our intent to ask for the jurisdiction on US Route 50 between mile marker 68, mile marker 64, which is the Dutchess County line. The reasoning behind why we're asking for it, the last 2 years, there's 340 calls for service. About 100 of those calls were traffic accidents within that 4-mile jurisdiction, and almost 40% of them resulted in injury. So the response time to those injuries took anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes for Harrison County Sheriff's Office and West Virginia State Police to respond. That's not a crack at them, it's just they're on the other side of the county and they're both busy agencies. We had a incident a couple weeks ago where there was a double rollover where people had to be transported to the hospital. Took them almost 17 minutes to get there. Took us 30 seconds to get there. We were on scene, but we really didn't have jurisdiction. We aided, did everything that we could as a police department, but if something were to occur to us, the liability while we're on US 50 working it because we don't have jurisdiction there is, could really screw us over in the long run. Jurisdictionally, it runs through Salem. We have the upper Dogwood Lake. We use it all day long. If we're on the other one side of Salem and there's a call that is on West Main, we're gonna get on US 50, come on the other side and take the other exit. Traditionally, as you know, US 50 is a high trafficking area for narcotics and human trafficking. Bridgeport, Clarksburg, Mountain Highway Interdiction Team, Harrison County Sheriff's Office, West Virginia State Police, they patrol the US 50 area and they do a great job of it, but unfortunately, they have a higher call volume rate. They're out answering calls all day long. We have a lower call volume rate. We have the ability to attack US 50 with those items. We did our due diligence and we called some smaller law enforcement agencies because we figured some questions would be, well, why do you think you could handle this? Hurricane Police Department has 15 officers, 2 canines, 4 miles of I-64. They seized last 2 years, $1 million worth of narcotics, $70,000 in cash, legal vehicles, and wrote almost 700 citations. Milton Police Department has 7 officers, no canine, 9 miles jurisdiction. I-64 sees $200,000 in narcotics, 450 criminal and traffic citations. Burnsville, Ravenwood, same thing. They're small agencies who handle highways and interstates and have the capability to do so. We are a 5-man agency looking to be a 7-man agency. It's just hard to hire people and train people, but we have 1 canine. I'm gonna have a canine here soon by the end of the month, and we have the ability to not only enforce narcotics trafficking, human trafficking with those canines, but we'll have day shift and night shift canines, and we're also moving to 24-hour shifts. I just put in here some statistics on what canines can do, what they seized over the years. I used, a baseline for the U.S. Border Patrol that seized, just with canines, 150 175,000 pounds of marijuana, 175,000 pounds of methamphetamine, 70,000 pounds of cocaine, and just on traffic stops alone and border checkpoints with just canine utilization. Motor vehicle accidents. This is, one of the biggest issues that we're up here is I've sat on 50, he sat on 50, he sat on 50, we've ran radar, because we want to know what's going on in our 4 miles that we have in our little area. We're looking at hundreds of people doing 10, 20, 30 miles and over, and they all know that we can't patrol it. And I'm not, again, this isn't a knock at Harrison County Sheriff's Office or West Virginia State Police. They're not over there. They have a lot of things to do and they're busy agencies. We have that 4 miles, there's 340 calls in the last 2 years. And almost, I guarantee you, with what we did statistics wise, 80% of them resulted because of speeding. So we want to be out there to enforce speed to keep our community safe. I mean, if you look at this, there's 300,000 deaths a year on highways because of speed. Like I said, it's not just a matter of us being out there, it's safety to the citizens in our community. We owe that to them to be out there, give people speed tickets, or at least tell them, hey, slow down. We're out here. We're a deterrent. We're saying, these last 4 miles that that no one has been out here traditionally, we're out here now. And we want you to know that you can't speed here anymore because we don't want people to die. We don't want people to get injured. Traditionally, Salem Police Department has been a small agency. It's been 1 or 2 men. We're 5 men looking to be 7. And, if we can get US Highway 50, and we're also looking to put a PRO in the elementary school. We're gonna have a conversation with the elementary school and see if they will put up 9 months of funds, and we'll do the other 3 so we can fund an officer as a PRO for them. But we have big goals. We want to gain jurisdiction on US Route 50. We're at the point where we're almost 24/7 patrol division coverage. We want to do criminal interdiction, hire 2 more officers. We get US 50. We're going to have Governor Highway Safety Program. We are in the process of becoming a civil service department, the application process, so that it's not just the wild, wild west over there anymore. We are going to be a legitimate agency where we have the ability to go through the Civil Service Commission and hire people and go things through the proper channels. Like I said, the PRO, if we get US 50, then we'll be able to get a grant to send somebody for a traffic reconstruction to school. So if there's a major accident in those 4 miles, then our agency will handle that, and we will do the reconstruction, any liability or insurance for anything that's requested through the LexisNexis Pro.
Having a traffic reconstructionist would be able to aid any other agency.
Absolutely. Some other things. Good, sir.
Well, and going off of that too, I think, something that's important to understand because of the geographic location, because of the business and commerce that is currently available in Salem, that most of our residents are using 50 to travel to Clarksburg or out towards Parkersburg even. So it serves our community and being able to respond to help them in their time of need, if they are in an accident, if there is any kind of incident of any sort outside of the vehicle accidents, that our residents are traveling that stretch of 52 to get to work or from work or what have you. Yes, sorry.
Absolutely not. And there's some other goals that we have on here, and I put why we can handle it. Well, here's the thing. I've got almost 10 years in doing this. He's got 10 years in doing this. He works for Dodge County Sheriff's Office as well. We all know how to work US 50. We all work highways, interstates. The 3 of us are training them. Any officer that comes to our agency, I'm an FTO. We can train those officers to how to handle a crash on the interstate. We have the resources, we have vehicles, we have traffic. I mean, we have everything that we need to handle a traffic accident on the highway, interstate, and training. So it's not a matter of do we know how to do it, because we do, because we've all worked at other places where we understand and have the education and training to do so. At this point, I'd just like to open it up for questions.
I have one thing to add too, along with what they said.
Identify yourself.
And my name's Ronnie Davis, I'm city manager. Along with it is we actually have an EMS department. too. We actually are running to LASMs that they actually can help assist with. We do serve Route 50 on rec and everything else on it. We're trying to put everything in our end of the county to help out, to show Harrison County and everybody else how much we care about where we're at.
One last thing to interrupt. So in the last, if I had the call log pulled up on the back. In the last 2 years, in that stretch of 4 miles, there's only been 14 traffic stops conducted by Harrison County Sheriff's Office and the State Police. There has been multiple 911 hangups, motorist assists, and other calls that were for, breaking and entering, miscellaneous calls. Well, I went through that call log and I called dispatch and I wanted to find out who responded to them. We know what occurred. They called a Salem City officer to go figure out what was going on over there. And if we could take care of it, they didn't come. We handled that because it was in our 4 miles and they weren't going to come all the way out to Salem to handle something that we could handle because they knew we could.
You do that through mutual aid? Is that how you're?
Correct.
And again, we absolutely,
I just wanted that.
Yes, ma'am.
we absolutely will not dig on Harrison County Sheriff's Department or the West Virginia State Police that have the jurisdiction out there. They're just busier. They have a much higher call volume. For the past 3 months. We've averaged 100 calls per month, and 90% of that is self-generated through traffic stops, through investigations that we're trying to conduct to keep ourselves busy. So it shows that our community, our little community of Salem, that we care and that we're trying to be a legitimate police force and not just sitting around hiding all
Yeah,
day.
you just have to make sure you take care of them too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Stay out on Route 50. Because they're the
First and
ones that,
foremost.
exactly.
And
And
that
I'm not
is,
trying to.
No, ma'am. We're not trying to be the highway patrol either. We're not. That's not what we're trying to do. We just want to keep
But
our
you just
community
said that
safe.
made a little light bulb went off in my head.
no,
Yes, ma'am.
and absolutely, our first priority is always going to be to the city. But if it's a slow day,
Right.
through Salem,
And it's not like you're that far away. You
it's probably a 3-minute response time. So.
And President, I think we should support this and you all get with our county administrator and begin the process. And we look forward to you being where you should be anyway.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
As far as the process, county administrator, we should need to go through some paperwork and do it that way. Is that what you're?
She'll work with our county attorney and who is your county attorney, your city attorney, and that's a blessing for both of us. And we'll, you're not? Oh, you're not?
Yeah, he's not
Mr. Harold's there. Sam
Oh,
Harold's
that's
there.
Well, they look alike, so.
At least we know each other, right?
Both lawyers, it's fine.
Nice working with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, the motion's been made to let Laura work with the city of Salem and the police department to move forward with this project. Is there any discussion or questions of the gentlemen that are here?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to hear from the sheriff's department and the state police before we jump into this and make sure that we have their backing on what we're about to do. And I'd like for Laura to come back with a report for the next commission meeting.
I believe she's.
I agree to that because I think she's already done it.
It
Yeah.
hasn't been told.
Yeah, it hasn't been told
public.
us, so yeah, that's good.
So if you all have private meetings, that's fine, but it's not been discussed in the
It
commission.
wasn't a private meeting, it was just conversation, but
Yes, I
everything's
have.
not the double.
I have talked to the sheriff. I was hoping he'd be here today. I understand that he's extremely busy. And what he relayed to me is he is fine with that,
As
but
long as he's here and somebody from the state police to verify that this is workable. And the other thing I'm curious about is how do your speeding tickets work? What's your level of charge? Somebody's out on Route 50 doing 75, what's that gonna cost?
170, I believe.
170 for citations.
So this is a severe money maker for you all to pick up speeders on Route 50, correct?
Well, no, not really. I mean, it's not, portion of that goes to the state. And it's not about picking up the speed tickets, it's about slowing people down to keep from having accidents. They're not gonna work their shifts on Route 50 doing that, that's not gonna happen.
I just look at, we have a lot of communities around the state that we're known for speed traps, and we're gonna make Salem speed trap. That's
Not why,
absolutely
not why I'm there, they won't, I can promise you that. Why I'm there, that it won't be
You
coming.
guys have come before the commission in the past, and the commission in the past has denied this.
Well, I think maybe in the past, the leadership and everything was completely different. I think we've got a completely new set of faces here, administration here. I put this together, not for the intent to say, hey, I want to make a speed trap in Salem. I put this together to show that we're a progressive law enforcement agency that wants to better our agency, better our area, our community, add more to our jurisdiction so we can grow as an agency and help out Harrison County, also help out Doddridge County, because we're right there.
But none of this stretch of road falls within the city limits around, or Salem.
City limits runs along the side of
Along
it,
the side
at
of it.
different places, yeah.
So we're gonna give you all the ability to treat this like the city.
Well, if you want to have a working conversation where on US Highway 50, we only write state citations, we can do that. We don't have to write just city citations. We can write state citations on US Highway 50. Or US Route 50. It doesn't have to be city. If it's a
And that would go through magistrate court.
correct.
I mean, you understand my concern is that we're pushing what's considered the city limits if we let you all have the whole city. There's ability to do out on Route 50.
I guess I'm a little confused on what your
Well, I'm
concern
just
is.
saying, it's not city, so.
Well,
Route 50, we're blessing it like, you're gonna treat it like the city limits of
correct. Well, here's
Salem.
the
And
thing,
I just want
everyone,
people to understand when they're traveling, that they're not actually in the city limits of Salem.
right,
So I mean, you understand that's a confusion that we have to overcome. That if you pull somebody over in a Salem cruiser, they're not in the city limits of Salem.
right. And I understand that. And like I said, working conversation can be that we write state citation right there. We just want the ability to patrol and like I said, the response time and everything that occurred with that. But it's not a moneymaker. We're not here to make hundreds or thousands of dollars writing citations to people. However, we use that road. The city uses that road. Everyone in the community uses that road. We cross the road over into Upper Dog Run, which is the city's property as well. And by us being there, if we do make that city jurisdiction, then we have that ability to enforce criminal and traffic patrol there, so the sheriff's office doesn't have to respond to that area because we are there. And it makes more sense because our agency is directly located right there.
Don't argue that. I just want to make sure that,
And
I prefer that you guys treat it as the state highway track. I'm gonna ask you if we allow this and approve it in the city of Salem, how do we make sure that what they're doing out there under our direction, that we're not held liable for it?
Understand. How many residents does Salem have?
Could they not annex that in?
approximately 1,800, right?
Yeah, right, 16, 18 in that range.
That's what we're talking about.
Can you not annex that part of 50 in? Could they not do that? If they want, I mean, if they cared to.
So they could, but they'd have to approach the state.
Right, I mean, I'm
It's
just-
DOH, it would be, it's all DOH.
I mean, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
But then if they annex it in, they'd be responsible for the maintenance of the upkeep,
Oh, I was thinking
which
about that
is
too.
not a feasible
Yeah.
route.
Robert, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, and I apologize, I missed the first part of the presentation, but my understanding is the request is for the city to annex Route 50, which is within, touches their city boundaries. Is that the question?
Not the annex, they just wanna patrol
So they want to have jurisdiction outside of the city.
outside of the city. So it's 4 miles.
Yeah, I would be opposed to that. I would not be opposed to them annexing that their city, running things through their municipal court. I think that would be a benefit for them to patrol down there. But I just don't know that, I don't know legally, or I don't know if it would be a good idea to have somebody patrol a municipal corporation patrol, or do law enforcement outside of their corporate limits. So that, if that's the request, I would be opposed to that. If it's for total annexation and responsibility, I would support that 110%.
Well, that's something we can go back and speak about. The other thing that I would just like to respond to that with is the agencies that I listed in my presentation for you. All of them are doing what we are asking to do. They are enforcing criminal traffic control on the highway interstate with that touches their city with the permission.
It's not part of their city. It's not annexed in.
Correct.
Now, like, is Bridgeport out on 79? Is that in the city of Bridgeport?
No, it's not in the city, correct?
It is in
It's in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm just trying
Yeah, I
to.
think, and I don't know, I haven't researched, I'm sure, as you did, Sarge. I'm not aware of anywhere in West Virginia that does that, but again, I've not looked at that. And I don't know anywhere in the code that would allow that.
Well, that's my concern is that say it's a class 4 municipality.
Like, I'll give you an example, Hurricane Police Department, they have nothing on the city in it, on I-64, and they have 4 miles. The county gave them 4 miles of I-64 patrol.
It's interesting.
If they did, if there's an order, the county commission issue over it.
Yeah, sure, thank you. But I've never heard of it, but.
Yes, sir. No, it's annexing that portion is something we can look at. I didn't do any research into annexing, nor do I know anything about that. I'm sure that our city manager might know a little more.
We looked into it once before. You gotta get permission through the DOA, Department of Highway. They are the actual owner of all that. There's actually a map there with the boundaries of where DOH actually does own, from where we looked at it before. But going back to 100% city taken care of, they can't take care of it like your attorney had actually said before. We don't have the resource to actually keep it plowed, treated the whole 9 yards. If the state would actually, keep that, we're not against the other. Like I say, our main deal is the safety of our EMT department, our fire department actually out there actually on wrecks and stuff for the cost to assist them for,
I mean, the state still plows Route 50 here in
Yeah.
Hartsburg.
yeah.
Yeah, municipality wouldn't have any responsibility.
Yeah, I don't, it's,
for-
but I think we got,
Right.
I think we gotta approach them and get their permission before we, actually step on toes. We don't wanna do that. We're not here to do none of that. We're here to work together to make things better for everyone.
I want to make clear to you, Sheriff, none of this is like a response saying that we think that you do a poor job, your agency does a poor job patrolling that area. You guys have a high call volume rate. West Virginia State Police has a high call volume rate. We pulled up, in that packet that we gave you, it has 340 calls for service in the last 2 years, showing that there was only 14 traffic stops conducted in that whole 4-mile stretch. And there was almost 100 traffic accidents, with 40% of them resulting in injuries. And then I gave an example, 3 weeks ago, state police responded to a double vehicle rollover right there, right across from Route 23 on that section, US 50. Took them 17 minutes to respond. Our agency was there in less than 60 seconds, pulling people out of vehicles, conducting traffic. But mutual aid, there's still liability that's incurred even when you have mutual aid. And we couldn't get a hold of state police to say, hey, yeah, let us out there to help these people who were rolled over. So it becomes a liability issue at that point, just what.
Yeah, I like the concept. I will tell you, that's a dangerous piece of road. We see fatalities there. It would be great to have you guys out there, on speed enforcement. We don't have the resources, or because of our call volume to do speed enforcement like we would like throughout the county. So that part I like. The problem, and I wish we would have this discussion prior to today, because I didn't understand, exactly what you're asking for. I just don't see anywhere in the law that allows that. But you say if there's places that are doing that, maybe once we do some research, once Trey does his research, I'll have a different opinion on it. But as what I think I know is there's a clean way to do it, without you guys doing total annexation on that piece of the road. I do know that if, like Anmore, for example, both sides of the city are within the city limits, so the stretch of I-79 that runs through there, same as with Bridgeport, they can enforce traffic, they can respond to calls up there, because both sides of the highway are within their corporate annexation. I don't know if that's the case in Salem or not, but that's something that you may also want to look into.
We do have the opposite side of US 50 where we have Upper Belt Run where we enforce the area, so that makes sense.
And I think that's why Clarksburg only has a small section right there where Charles Point crosses over. There's that gap in between them and Bridgeport that's neither one of them control.
Yeah, a very small piece of what we refer to as no man's land.
Yeah, neither city has it because there's no city limits.
And Clarksburg pretty much has from Amore to that section, by the wastewater treatment there, Bridgeport, and then Bridgeport picks up shortly thereafter, so it can be done. And again, I just want to reiterate, I don't disagree with the concept. I'd love to have you guys out there, to enforce that, and I think it would be a good safety measure. I think the speed reduction would reducing the crashes out there, reducing fatalities out there, but I just, I don't know that, the trolling out there, working out there under the, authorization of the county commission. I don't know if that work.
Sounds like we need to do some more homework and come back.
Yeah, I would like to be a part of that. I would help in any way that.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Treecott,
Whatever you say, Commissioner Hinkle.
I would just like staff and everybody to get together and come back. And Trey on the 8th, that's giving everybody, I think, more than enough time to
February the 8th.
February the 8th, straighten out what we need to so we can sit down and have a
Is that fair?
conversation. Keep it going. It's just know my concerns, sheriff's concerns, our legal concerns. So
We really appreciate you working with us because I know before.
I mean, you've been here, now let's just keep it going. Let's not
Yes.
just forget about it and come
Oh,
back.
absolutely. We
I think
want
it is
this, we
important.
won't, but I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you working with us. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you all.
Are you all leaving?
Yes,
Mr. Manager, it's my understanding that you're retiring.
February 8th is my last day. I probably won't be here.
I want to thank you. You have been as easy to work with and you have worked your tail off in the city of Salem.
I think we're heading the right direction as long as they get somebody in there to keep it up. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just saying somebody has to be concerned about Salem.
Well, you
And I have
have,
several projects starting and I'm planning on helping with them unless they just run me clear off. They may throw a party on the 9th when I'm gone and not allow me back in town. I don't know.
well, let me just say, what you have done with demolition and cleanup and always keeping the trail clean and working with businesses.
Well,
Thank
and
you
it's
for
got a couple new businesses coming in on the way out, so that's a good accent. I mean, they won't really hate me that way, but like I say, it's 38 years. I'm really enjoying it.
38 years, well done.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You want to withdraw your motion?
Yeah.
All in favor of withdrawing your motion? Mr. Treecott's motion?
I'll watch it.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried. I believe we are on 18, administrative report.
Yes, I would like to give kudos to all the emergency services personnel that has been out, especially the last week with the frigid temperatures, and still working hard to make sure that they check on people. And out there in the cold with the accidents and everything else, they've been doing a great job. And then also I'm going to defer to Michelle. She has an update on ARPA funds.
I just wanted to, since we're here at the end of the year, I wanted to update the commission on where we are with our ARPA fund distribution. So the county received a little over $13 million, and of that, $12,080,000 was allotted to 15 different subrecipients. As of the end of this year, which includes the requisition that's in today's accounts payable list, we have distributed $669,615 to 6 different subrecipients. One subrecipient is completely done. They've drawn down all their funds, and that's Stonewood. We have 9 who have not yet requested any money, but all of them have projects that are gonna start in the spring or summer of next year. I've talked to various people at these municipalities. I've talked to Thrasher, Region 6. They've all been great communication. So far, I haven't had any problem getting the documentation that we need. The funds have to be obligated by December 31st, 2024, spent by December 31st, 2026. And just right at the moment, we have $11,400,000 left to distribute. So just FYI, I just wanted everybody to know where we were.
Thank
I
you.
know it was like going along and
Appreciate it.
That's all I
I have nothing. Do either one of you?
I just have one thing, Madam President. Laura, do an evaluation. I don't want this interim tag out of animal control forever. Do your evaluation, do your job, and either make this individual full or move forward with whatever. But it's not fair to them to have an interim tag hanging over their head forever. And, you know, if you don't think they're doing the job, then they're not. And if you think they are, then they are.
Well, we'll have to post it and advertise for the position. He is welcome to apply for it, and we can go from there. Since we are on that topic, we do have an opening for an animal control officer, and also a 911 dispatcher. So those 2 jobs will be back on our Indeed website.
We don't have to post that.
Are you done?
You don't have to post that interim person's job. If you feel that that's the person for the job, Laura, you do not have to post that.
Do it. Do it.
Okay.
I think it's a smart thing to do. Okay. I guess, motion to adjourn if nobody has anything else.
Motion adjourned.
Think you had it? I've already asked. Okay, motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.